At just 23 years old, Kayla Hodgson's life came to a tragic end. Police claimed that this had stemmed from a love triangle, and the investigation that followed uncovered a disturbing chain of events. Side note, all products used will be listed down below in the description. She was just 23 years old, a popular bottle girl in South Florida known for her outgoing personality, her love of life, and the people around her. But on an ordinary July morning in 2022, everything changed. Police would soon discover that Kayla had been brutally stabbed inside her own apartment, and investigators quickly uncovered a shocking motive. The person responsible wasn't a stranger. It was a woman who had travelled hundreds of miles from New York to Florida, allegedly driven by jealousy over her ex-boyfriend. This is the heartbreaking case of Kayla Hodgson. Before we begin, trigger warning and condolences to those affected by this case. Now let's get into today's story. Kayla was a 23-year-old bartender and bottle waitress living in Tamarack, Florida. Friends described her as kind, energetic, and someone who could make anyone smile. She loved spending time with family and friends and had built a life she was excited about. Like many people her age, she enjoyed going out, working hard, and making plans for the future. But behind the scenes, a relationship would unknowingly place her in the middle of a dangerous obsession. Kayla had started dating a man whose former girlfriend, Sakina Thompson, reportedly refused to accept that the relationship had ended. Instead of moving on and going about her life, prosecutors said that Thompson became increasingly fixated on Kayla. What made the case even more disturbing is that investigators believe this wasn't a crime committed in the heat of the moment. Authorities allege that Thompson travelled from Queens, New York, all the way to South Florida with the intention of confronting Kayla. On July 13, 2022, Kayla was at her apartment in Tamarack. Thompson had arrived early hours in the morning disguised as a delivery driver and knocked on Kayla's door. According to prosecutors, the encounter quickly turned violent. Kayla was stabbed multiple times inside her own home. Despite her injuries, investigators believe she fought desperately for her life but sadly passed away at the scene. As detectives began piecing together the evidence, they focused on the relationship between Kayla, her boyfriend, and his former partner. Their investigation revealed that Thompson had travelled from New York shortly before the killing. Authorities gathered surveillance footage, travel records, phone evidence, and other forensic evidence that prosecutors argued linked her to the murder. They also found some clues on Thompson's social media, mainly Instagram. For example, there was a pair of Prada boots that she had posted up on Instagram that she was wearing when she went to go murder Kayla. The case quickly gained national attention because of how calculated investigators believed the attack had been. After murdering Kayla, this sick and twisted individual decided to wear Kayla's clothes and walk out of the apartment. She was seen doing so on CCTV. When Thompson was arrested, prosecutors argued that jealousy was the driving motive. They said that she could not accept that her previous relationship had ended and instead blamed Kayla. Sadly, this is something that we see in a lot of cases. Instead of moving on with life and pushing the situation under the rug and accepting that someone else has moved on, innocent people become targets. Kayla had no control over someone else's choices, yet she ultimately became the victim of that obsession. The case eventually went to trial. During court proceedings, prosecutors presented evidence they said had showed careful planning before the attack, including Thompson's travel from New York to Florida and the events surrounding the killing. Just my personal opinion, she had all this time to sit and think of her actions, but she still decided to sit on that plane, travel miles, and fall through with her plan. Which is insane to think of because you've done all of this for a relationship and to keep a man, and now you're spending the rest of your days in jail. The defense challenged aspects of the prosecution's case, but after hearing the evidence, the jury came to its decision. Just another side note, Thompson claimed that she was pregnant and she went all the way there to confront her, but Kayla hit her first, which doesn't really make sense because why would you go all the way there to confront someone, claim you're pregnant, and claim basically self-defense, but you've entered someone else's home? And that defense clearly didn't work because in 2025, Sakina Thompson was found guilty of first-degree murder. And she actually was pregnant at the time and has given birth to the baby. Just a quick side note. Which is just sad because that's just another broken home, all for the sake of jealousy and obsession and just stupid behaviour. A few weeks later, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Kayla's family, no sentence could ever bring her back, but they've expressed relief that the person responsible will never ever have the opportunity to harm someone again. Cases like Kayla are especially heartbreaking because they remind us how dangerous obsession can be when someone refuses to let go. Kayla wasn't involved in a feud, she wasn't looking for conflict, she was simply living her life. Yet, because of someone else's jealousy, her future was taken away. Today, Kayla's family and friends continue to remember her as someone full of life, laughter, and kindness. Rather than being remembered solely for the tragedy that ended her life, they hope people also remember who she was before that day. a daughter, a friend, and someone who had much more life ahead of her. Thank you so much for watching my first video. If you found this video informative, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more true crime and nail content. Also, if you have any cases you would want me to discuss, please drop them down below. Stay safe and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.